Hello, 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 hello. Wait, the chat. Just let me paste the link in the Discord. After that, we will start today's stream. Just wait. So first, we will start with the introduction that today, okay, where I have done some changes. So good evening, everyone, and today is my day 51 of my DSA journey, right? And today, as usual, we will do revisits of problem. After that, we will solve new problems, right? But now I have changed the approach a little bit. Like like what we used to did in the past time was we used to like first pick some good problems, right? Like basic problems. After that, we jump onto that topic's middle level problems, right? And what happened in the strings topic, we just like I was not getting time at that point and just it got messed up a little bit, right? But after that, I've seen when I started 2D arrays, like that topic is not that much bigger, but yeah, now I've again started following the that approach which I was following for you can take arrays or vectors, right? And there is also another update that I will tell you about regarding web development, right? And today I have changed the thumbnail a little bit. I think, yeah, I have changed it to this now. Before it was looking like this. Okay, don't know why it looks. Okay, in my mobile phone it looks good, but don't know why in the laptop PC it just looks a little bit blurred. So let's start today's stream, right? So first, what we will do, we will first try to solve two new problems on like those are on LeetCode, right? So just let me pick up the problem that we have to solve. Hello, 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 hello. Just wait, let me pick that problem that we have to solve. It. I don't remember the name of it. Okay, first we will do transpose. Okay, first we will start with matrix diagonal sum. Like it is easy level problem, right? Like we will start with basic problems. After that, it will we will increase the level by uh, in a little bit slow place, right? Like it is not related to the lectures that I'm following. Like I have taken it from another list, and according to the lectures, the problems that ma'am picks are like medium level problems, and we are not just for now we are not putting those. Like those are easy, but we will not pick those first. today I will solve two new problems. Like according to the roadmap, we were supposed to be solved two new problems today, right? As you can see, this chapter has hasn't been like that long. As you can see, there are three parts of it. So how many problems like did man have covered, right? Mm. And as soon recursion is going to start, so we will have to. I also have a plan for that, like when we will start recursion, what we can do, like the other things, to also start the revision of the topics, like which I have already covered, right, in a good way, as same as the recursion is with the recursion. Hello, man, welcome to the stream. Hello. Diagonal towers. Oh, so people are watching, just they are silent. I don't know why. It's it's because of the someone is saying something. Can you tell me which platform you use to stream? I mean, what you use for the setup? Okay, I also want to start. This is a basic setup. Like you have to. Okay, have you ever like done live streaming like using YouTube? Have you ever done that? Like how we go live, right? So for that, first you need is like any streaming software, right? You will download it in your system. Then you have to connect it with the you will get a key, a YouTube key. You will have to connect it to that software, and you can just start streaming from there. You can set up the like webcam settings from here and the display, like the thing you want to show. Yeah, what software? It's OBS Studio, but there are also other platforms which you can use. There are other softwares like Twitch and but OBS gives other type of features that and yeah, it also feels easy to use. Okay, welcome, man. Welcome. You have came for the first time. I think you have came for the. You have already came on my stream before, right? I think I have seen you. You came yesterday. Okay. Now we don't- Yeah, again we are just putting a poll. Appreciate you. You what show daily lead code. Okay. Oh, thanks for that. Yeah, you can also just do you have to just come live. Even if maybe you are not solving any new problem, maybe if you have started doing the revision, then you can just pick problems that you have already solved and just start the revision. But people love, I think, love to see more like when we get into a problem and we just get stuck into the problem, right? So this is something else. We have to pick. The stream is just buffering in my mobile phone, I think. It's not buffering. You can also share your updates. If you're in the Discord, you can just share your updates, like what you're doing on a daily basis, right? Are you on LeetCode? More power to you. Keep going. Oh, uh, welcome to the stream, man, and thanks for welcome to the stream. So we are solving first, like this is matrix diagnosis. Like this is a easy level problem. Like ma'am have done like showed how we can solve it, and I have a basic understanding of this, like how this will work, right? We can even do a demo of it using Excalibur. And I think this chapter, this topic will end soon, and soon we will be starting recursion. Then I will have also like have other plans. So let's start. So its name is matrix diagnosis, right? So we have to get the sum of the matrix. Like diagonal is a linear line which goes like this. Okay. This will be called the primary diagonal and this will be called the secondary diagonal. Okay. Uh, I don't think so. And sometimes like now I've seen some patterns, like I do follow some things where I like do some research. I have seen that nowadays it's not just of DSA. Today, nowadays, you will be asked, like you will be given a code base and you will have to find bugs into that. And DSA helps in that, like for other rules, like even if you have already been placed, then in that case they just do like for again for the filtering, they just again test you in every 4 months or like 6 months, right? They will give you a code base, so you will have to find issues in that and just know how to calculate space and time complexity. Uh, you can calculate it like I have, I think, as far as I know, I do just check how many steps the problem taken to be solved, right? What problem are you doing? I'm doing this matrix diagonal sum. And yeah, welcome to the stream, man. Today, I think new people are coming. Mm. And I'm also trying to reduce the dependency of on AI for like solving the problems. Just practicing it, I think, from the past 2 or 3 days. Hey, it's Harman. Hello, Harman. Welcome to the stream. If there is multiple while loop, multiple variable. No, that doesn't matter. Like I'm a video editor. Okay. An option. The thing is, like, it doesn't matter if it has nested loops. It tells like how you are traversing the array or like how you are breaking down the problem every time. If there is a loop, okay, I will come back to you. There are some new people came on the stream. Okay, first I think we should. I will take one by one. I am a video editor, correct? I am experienced and they are more focusing on practical coding. Yeah, and even the time is a little bit of a constraint. I think like people can't imagine nowadays. Like it's more than DSA. I think, right? Like it just combines so many. topics together and just like it requires a thinking of an experienced person who is just experienced, right? And these type of interview rounds have like been like these were found for senior developers or like for senior people who are in industry, I think for the last like more than 4 or 5 years, but now it is being asked from like a mid-level developer or like people who are not just senior but yeah they have a little bit of experience in the field. There is multiple loop. Okay, yeah, I will show you. You know about bunny research. Bunny research in what we do in that. Okay, just wait. Like here, okay, in bunny search, what we do when we do linear search, we traverse the array. Like we go on to every value one by one, right? Like we find to try to find the solution. Like if there are n number of values present in the array, then we try to go on every index, and in the worst case, the time complexity will be like we will take n number of operations, right? And when we apply Barney search on the problem, why does it get reduced to log n, right? Because then in that case, we just eliminate like for some time we eliminate the left part or like then we eliminate the right part and just we keep doing that, and in that case the problems get divided by like into half every time until we like in the worst case we will be left with one value, and yeah we will have just half number of operations than what we used to do in linear search, right? That's why its name is also as binary search. Correct. Okay. So what we have to do in this problem, we have given a square matrix. Okay, return the sum of the matrix diagonals. We have to return the sum of these diagonals. Okay, and when we will use the like write the condition in this matrix, the middle value is like this, and like we will be crossing it 2 times. Like so, for being safe from that, we will use conditions, and it will just add the value 5 only one time. Okay, like the and in this case when the matrix is like this where the values like if it's not a 3 by 3 matrix, then in that case like what does it mean by 3 by 3 means it have 3 columns and 3 rows, right? In that case the middle value will be okay, when the matrix will have the matrix will be odd, right? In that case, in this case you can see the matrix is in even form, right? So in this case, you can see we don't have to ignore the like duplicates, right? Like the line is not crossing any value which is common in both the sides when we like try to traverse it in this way. If row 3 and column 2, what? Okay, why you deleted the message, man? Okay, so first, what I was thinking, we will get the number of rows by matrix dot size, like it will give the number of rows present in the matrix as this will be considered the first value. Okay, let me just make it a little bit bigger, right? This is the first element in which there are 3 values present, right? This is the second element of the array. This is the second row and this is the third row. So when we will do a matrix plot size, it will give the number of rows present in the matrix, right? And for columns, diagonals. Oh yeah, okay. And if anyone of you guys are in college, then what you can do is you all can join the Discord server. Okay, here is the Discord server, and you can share what you are doing on a daily basis. Like if you are working on something, maybe even if you are learning something, like it can be anything like HTML or Java, or like maybe you are doing DSA. You can share your daily progress here, okay, and you can share your project if you like want a review on that. And even if a part of it is completed, you can share that also. And yeah, soon we are working on a system where people can join the rooms and just study together in a, like, you can have discussions there about topics. And this is not the complete system. I think just we are just experimenting on it, like how it is going. And as far as we have joined the meetings, we have found that okay, this is working. Okay, like in the meetings room, you can have discussion about anything, like even if it's related to development or DSA or anything, right? I did not see. Okay. And subscribing is a secondary thing. You can consider to subscribe to the channel when you feel that this guy is learning something, or we are getting some value from him, or we are learning something from this guy, right? But joining the community is highly recommended for all of you. And subscribing can be done anytime, right? It's not a mandatory thing. So for columns, what we do matrix zero. Okay, we are picking the very first element and just checking the size of it. So when we do matrix zero dot size, it means matrix 0 is 1 2 3, right? Like it tells us how many values are present. So it will be column 1, it will be column 2, it will be column 3. So it will tell how many columns are present in the matrix, right? Now we will use a for loop. Rows. Okay, this will increase the number of rows on which we are, and we have to also create a variable for storing the sum of diagonals, right? So in the starting it will be 0. So inside this, okay, j is less than columns and j plus plus, right? Like every time we will be on the first row and we will just check for the values, which comes, hello man, welcome to the stream. For better understanding, try LeetCode 3367. Okay, first I will solve that problem that like I'm doing, right? Then I can try to check what is this problem. I will give the right, but it's not showing, man. Maximum sum of weights of it. Okay. Okay. I have not covered these topics till now, so I think I should not first like touch this topic, right? And man, I'm doing basic problems based on 2D arrays. How you can take a guess that I am on this level. Hello, man. Welcome to the stream. Thanos. I think it's the magic of that. I think thumbnail that I've changed after a very long time. So what it will do, it will first it will be zero, the first row, and thus we are increasing the columns, right? And inside this, there will be two conditions that if at any point I is equals to j, right? Yeah. When the row and column will be same, okay, means the row number, okay, suppose on this index, okay, the column is 0 and the row number is 0, right? Like according to the variable, if we see only the index, okay, so it will be on 0th index and it will be on this column will also be on 0th index. In that case, we will pick the first value and add it into the sum. Then when we will increase the counter of like this column variable, in that case, it will come on the first index, right? Like the second value inside the matrix. And when we will check if I is equals to j, then it will not be equals to j because I is at 0th index, right? And j is at first index. So we will exclude this value when, and this for this diagonal, we will check for like another, we will create another check inside this. Okay, first we are checking for this primary diagonal. Okay, this is for condition is for primary diagonal. Okay, and here we are doing if it's equals to that, so sum plus equals to matrix I at j, right? Like what we are trying to do is we are picking ith row, like the current row and the current column on which it is equals to j, right? So we will get the sum of all the values which are on the like the primary diagonal, right? Suppose we are on second row, what will happen? They will be on first index, right? And when the column will be one, then that case column is one, so and row is one, so we will add that value into the primary diagonal. And for tackling the duplicate case, we are using a else case, and here we will use a else if case, right? Instead of else, we will use else if, and j is equals to, but where is n then? It should be like I minus 1, but there will be a value come that will be I minus 1 and n, right? So n will be what? If j is equals to n minus I minus 1. Okay, now the condition will be this, and n will represent, I think the n will represent the number of j is equals to n minus I minus 1. Like in this case, when we will checking for the secondary diagonal, j will be on third index and I will be 0, right? So 0 and 3. Then this will be, we are on second row. So it will be 1 and 2. And here it will be 0 and 1. Okay. Sorry, 0 and 0. 0 and 0. So 0, 1. Okay. So we have to start picking it from the last index for the first row, and this for the second row, and this value for the third row, right? And every time we can see a pattern that on the first row it was the zeroth row, right? Like the row was zero, and so when j will be equals to this value, then what will be n? N will be j is equals to n minus I minus 1. Wait, we can check it a little bit, that maybe just I'm checking it if it is maybe it can work or not. Okay, it can give the false answer. It will be met. Okay, just wait. Okay, here's condition is not closed. N minus I minus 1. What undeclared identifier answer? Oh, it will be some, right? Yeah, but we haven't used AI today. Mm. Oh man, it's accepted. I think the logic was right. Okay, so I think that the logic was right. Like in the lecture, what the teacher didn't use this columns. Like I thought it should be columns because we are checking for the number of values present in the first row, right? Then in the second row. And when j is equals to columns, like the number of elements present in that column minus I, that is 0 or minus 1. Okay, so it will be the last column. We will pick the last column in that case. In the second row, we will pick j is equals to columns. That will be 3 columns minus I. I will be um okay. So we are on the first row, right? So 1 minus 1 columns minus 1 minus 1. Okay, so we will pick the second last value. In the third, we will pick the first very first value, and that's how we are returning the sum in this case. And the duplicate value will get handled because when we will be on this index, okay, then only one of the condition will be true, right? Like on this point, I is also equals to j, and j is equals to columns minus I minus 1. Like both the conditions are true, right? So as like we already know, the only the one condition can become true at a time, right? So this is for the secondary diagonal. Okay. So what we are doing in this, first we just get the number of rows present in the matrix and number of columns in the matrix. After that, we initialized a sum. Then we are running loops for the outer loop is for the number of rows, and this is for the number of columns, right? Then we are doing if at any point y I is equals to j, like if I will be equals to j means row number is equals to column number. In that case, we are doing sum plus equals to matrix of I and j, right? And else if like this is for the secondary diagonal, and like this diagonal. Okay, in that case, we are checking if j is equals to columns minus a row number and minus 1. And its time complexity will be big of n cubed, right? Okay, it even got accepted. Um, yeah, its time complexity will be big of n cubed because we are using nested loops. First, it is for rows, and in the side, we are using for columns, right? And we are traversing on every other value. So that's why. So I will mark it as solved. So we have solved the first problem of today that we were supposed to solve. That was Uber question answer. What? This one. So are you talking about this guy, like the legendary 1491 lead code 3367? Okay. So first problem solve matrix diagonal sum. Okay. So we have solved the first problem. Now we will jump on to the second problem. That will be that will also be a easy problem. And yeah, from tomorrow we will upgrade the level of that. And what I was going to tell is for JavaScript, I will be not using AI to learn because it just hallucinates. So what I thought, like I will pick a course, and for now, I am going to do it with with a strawberry like char code. Yeah. So this guy have one shot videos on JavaScript, and yeah, he also have these small videos like this in this manner. We can also learn in this, but what I prefer is that okay, I have picked the one shot. The very start. Yeah, this is the part one of it. It's around 9 hours long, and there is also another part as part two. And I think that's not that much old, but yeah, I think first I should cover this, and after that, like it will be a mix of chair code and this channel, Shayan's Coding School, right? I will pick some parts of from Hitesh, chair code, and some parts from Shayan's Coding School, JavaScript. I like this new playlist. Yeah. And then I will not like do hurry. I will just try to understand the topics in a good way. And I will not complete this playlist that is visible. I will just pick some specific parts of it. But yeah, first I will start with it with chat code because like I tried writing the code and just trying understanding it, but chat GPT was hallucinating. So like it just forgets what we have the discussion before. I think I've got a little bit of understanding how a little bit of JavaScript works. So I think it will be faster compared to a beginner. And yeah, I think the lecture is not even that long to be like covered, right? Okay, let's come back to the topic. We have solved the first problem of today. It was matrix diagonal sum. And the second problem that I will pick is anyways, one is on the stream. Can you tell that is the thumbnail looking good or like we should make some changes? Um like is it better from the thumbnail which we used earlier? Like I think it looks more good than that. I think like the this color This filter is called as amethyst. Yeah, I just decrease the intensity of it. It's around. It looks like a purple color, but okay. So this is solved. You just wait. Okay, I think I remember the name of it. So its name was Matrix Transpose. Transpose Matrix. Okay, spiral. Yeah, and soon we will be doing this problem, spiral matrix, in I think the next two streams, and there are also some other parts of it. Maybe we can try those. Mm. But these type of problems is like very good. Like I see, they just give the diagram, and it just gets more easier to what we have to do, right? In this case, we have to transpose the matrix. What does it mean? Like we have to convert a row into a column. Okay, as you can see, this was the row, and the values are like this. Then we converted it into column, and this was the second row. We converted it into the second column, and third row as third column. So we have given a 2D integer array, right? Like there are integer values present in the array named as matrix. We have to return the transpose of that matrix, right? The transpose of a matrix is the matrix flipped over its main diagonal. Means from this middle point, right? Like it will be the, I think this is the main diagonal. So when it's flipped from its main diagonal, switching the matrix row and column indices, right? Like if, okay, we can use a little bit of, yeah, it was the explanation of yesterday that we did. Now we are, okay, we have a good amount of time, so we can do this. Mm, okay. Okay, I don't even think that matrix like this shape is needed. So we'll start. Just let me copy it. And today is day 51. So, okay, suppose before transposing, where is that? Before transposing the matrix, first there was, suppose there were only two columns. Okay, forget this column. Suppose there were just two columns in the matrix, right? Like this, and there were three rows. Okay, like these are three rows and these are two columns, right? When we will transpose that, what will happen? The number of columns will become three. Okay, there will be three columns like this, and there will be two rows after that. Like when we will transpose the matrix. Okay, so first, if you see, there were two columns and three rows, right? Then after transposing, it just flips the order. Like from two to three, it becomes three into two. It means three columns and two rows. Okay, wait. Yeah, I think I've just created this extra. It will look like this: the first column, second column, and the third column, right? As you can see, the number of columns are three and the number of rows are two. So after flipping, we can, I think, even check if it's just flipped from this order. Like if it was two into three, then it should become three into two. And in this case, they have given the matrix of like where the number of rows and columns are same. So even after flipping, it will be same. just the order of values will be changed, right? Okay, so first we will get the number of rows and columns. Like there is another way to do this, but I'm just doing it in a simpler way, right? So that if someone is a beginner, if he's seeing for the first time, so that the person can also understand what's happening. So rows will be matrix size, right? We get the rows for columns. We get the columns like by accessing the number of values present in the zeroth row, right? Then we will run a for loop, and this for loop will be for column, I think, because we have to fill the values again, right? Like we have to reinitialize the values. So how we can do that? Um, just let me think. Okay, let's try this. If it will not work, we will try another approach, right? But the auto loop will run for the columns, I think. Because I think if we will pick rows, then we will have to run a loop for like in a different order, and it will just get a little bit confusing to do the dry run of the problem, right? Mm, okay, fine. Hmm. Yeah, after this problem, we will jump on to Geek for Geeks to do the revisit of those problems that we did yesterday. Here we can reinitialize matrix I rows j column value with can be equals to what? Like these are the rows values, so we have to fill those into a single column, right? Like this is the first row value. So we can do for j, right? J is for okay, wait. Just there is a mistake here. Okay. Like j represents the number of columns, right? So the reinitialized value will be we are filling with the column, right? So we will be first on the first column, right? Like we will be on first column. Then we are filling the values of rows. So for that, we will pick that column as j and fill the value of that row, right? Like the row number will increase. So we will be on the very first column and just the row numbers will increase. And then after that, we will be on the second column. Then again, like it will be start with the zeroth row and just we will start filling the values of this row as column. And for this part, we are doing the same. We will be on the last column and thus it is a third column and we are filling the values like we are filling the value from the starting of the row, then the second value, second last value and the last value, right? And this is how we will change it. And in the end, we have to return it. So we will return matrix. Runtime error overflow. Okay, overflow. Matrix dot size matrix. But how it can give overflow? Like if we are trying to traverse it in this way, I think J will be for columns, right? They will be for columns, and I will be for rows. Like if we see in this case, the things were just like this, and so where that overflow is happening, right? I think, okay, let's do a dry read. First, we are on first column, right? This column. The number of rows are increasing, and we are just deinitializing the value of that current row and column with current column and current row, right? Then how it can give overflow? Line 22. We can ask it from Copilot what is this just for this error, not just the code. Why this is giving? Okay. Yeah, it was giving a case, right? But here the number of rows and columns, okay, will change. So will there be any check for this? If input is jag, rows length is different and column length is different. Okay, it will be wrong. Assume all rows have same size. Yeah, I was writing the code for transpose matrix. If anyone is on the stream, they can also tell like where is the problem. Like they can give hint and we can try to fix it. But I think there's a problem within that when we convert it into like when it is 2 into 3, then it should become 3 into 2. And I think what we can do, we can check for if the size of these are equal, right? If they are equal, we can run this condition. Like this will be an if condition, and there can be an else condition, right? Mm. And in the else condition, first we will I think made some changes. Then after that we will run the loop and just fill those values. Okay. But yeah, and this it doesn't give that, right? So transpose. I think nobody's on the stream, right? Let's try to, maybe someone is, just wait, let me run a Discord and try to ask it. Instead of using AI, maybe we should do this. Some of the people are online. If they will join, we can have. For that, I will have to use my mobile phone. Yeah. Hola, are you here? Hola, hola. Okay. Like Hola is the guy who just starts the meeting. Like he starts the meeting from the day he has been that guy who starts the meeting. I have joined the meeting room, but it isn't giving any option to add like people to invite them. It just giving the option to invite people into the Discord. You just wait. Can someone join the meeting room? Part of a problem. Wait, if I will get a reply in less time, then we will pick that option. Else, we will try AI, right? And for now, what I will do, I will just start the revisit of the problems. So till 9:10, we will start that using AI if nobody comes, right? Okay, so let's start the revisit, or yeah, I think that will be fine. So the first revisit will be of this problem, row sum in a matrix, right? And what we have to do in this, like we have to, if someone will join, I will get the notification. So in this problem, we have to do the number of, like there will be number of rows given. Okay, this is the first row, this is second, and this is third. So we have to return the sum of all the rows, like one by one, inside an array. Like we will create an empty array, a dynamic array vector, right? Inside that, we have to give the sum of all the rows. Like first we will do the sum of this row. Then we are pushing back the sum of that into the result vector. Okay, I have named it as a result vector. After that, we will change the row. Like we will be on second row and we will be calculating the sum for all the values in that row, right? Like by increasing the number of columns in that particular row. And just after that, we are pushing back the value on sum. Then we will on last iteration, we will pick this row, add all the values of columns in that row, and just push back that into the sum result vector, right? And then we are returning result vector. Just this is the problem. There is not any. People should. Yeah, we'll just wait for 5 minutes. Then after that, we will take the help of AI. Okay, this is submitted. First problem revisited. Row sum in a matrix, and just have like we have to do another revisit. That is just the opposite of it. In that case, what we were doing, like we are doing is, okay, it got submitted. So in that case, we have to just calculate the sum of columns. Like instead of rows, we are calculating the sum of columns. Right? I also did explain this yesterday. Mm, where it's gone. Okay, I can give you the example here. Okay, this is first we were calculating for the sum of all the rows, right? And we were returning that into an array. But in this case, we have to calculate the sum of all the columns. Like first, this will be the first column, then second, then third column. In that case, we can, like this is already clear. Just we will change the order of loops. Like we will run an outer loop, will run for columns, and just the number of rows will change, right? Like what we are trying to do in this problem, that we are just doing. There's a mistake, but yeah, we will fix that. Mm, in this first we will be on first column and just the number of rows are increasing and just we are doing the sum of that current column and current row and just pushing back into the sum. And first we will calculate the sum for the first column. We will pick the value from the first element, it is 1, then second element 4 and 7, right? It will be the sum of all the values which are like in the first column, right? Then we will be on second row and okay, when we will on second column, right? And again we will start from the very first row. We will pick the first number, second number and third number. Then we will push back into the sum. Then we will be on last iteration. That will be we will be on third column, right? In that case, we will start from the very first row, pick the first last number, and in the second row we will pick the last number, and the third row we will pick the last number as it is. These are all present and last column, right? We will put that into the sum and push back that sum of value of sum into the result vector, and just we are returning the result. Okay, I think we did the dry run in very faster way, right? And I think this doesn't need that much. I think nowadays people don't even try these type of very basic problems. Like if we do what was, right? So second problem revisit is done. It is column summary matrix. And both the problems that we have revisited, the time complexity of those will be big of n cube because we are using two for loops to check for a cell. Okay, like when we traverse into a matrix, the row and column, when we add both, it is counted as a single cell. Like this will be the first cell, this will be the second cell, this will be the third cell. Like when we traverse in an array, right? Like there are just values, like which is in one dimensional format. This is 2D format, right? So in that case, we do linear, we linearly go onto a value, right? In that case, we say that okay, we are on that this index and that index, but in this case, we call it as we are on first cell, we are on second cell, we are on the middle cell, we are on the second last cell, or we are on the last cell, right? Yeah. Okay, I think nobody has joined, so we will take the help of AI. I think people are a little bit busy today. And yeah, they also don't join at like usually don't join at this time. They usually join at around after 10 p.m. Okay. But why after that it created another list of vector, right? Transpose size m into n. But how this is working? My code is this. Just please don't get me the code, corrected code. Just mm, try to ask me, okay, just quiz me and try to get the answer, right? I think we have left with good amount of time today. Mm, yeah, we have a good amount of time. We just it's just 1 hours have been passed, right? Okay, we have taken the rows and columns as right. Okay, fine. J is equals to rows or j is equals to rows minus one. J is equals to rows. Okay, and j is for columns, right? If column is equals to rows, and if suppose it is not equals to rows, it is columns. The number of columns are less than the number of rows. That like what we did saw in this example, right? When the number of columns are less than number of rows, then that case we I think we will flip the order and just there's a mistake in that part of the code. If input is non-matrix square, row is not equal to column, then what will happen when j will go to the columns? We are trying to access j and I, but j should be out of the range of okay in the range of rows. Columns are more than rows, then okay, crash. Even if matrix is a square, are we safe? Yeah. If input is matrix is 2 into 3. Okay, two columns, three rows. Yeah, it will run till 0 to 2, right? Mm, okay. There is 0 two columns, right? Like we will be on first column, and we are trying to fill the values. Mm, yeah, we are picking values from the rows, right? Uh, let's try it. But in this case, the that will change, right? Like in that case, when we will transpose this not exist, right? That the question is asking for matrix like the number of columns. Yeah, the number of columns. So I think it exists. If I think it will transpose, okay, the values in the right way when rows and columns are same. Okay, okay, fine. Yeah, that logic or and runs. We have a good amount of time left today, so we will try to solve it and go through it in this way, right? We will not jump onto the solution. Mm, it is just trying to quiz me and try to get the answer from me in a step-by-step manner, right? If input matrix is 3 into 3 and correct, but trans wrong out. Okay, we will get error, right? We will not get the wrong output. We will get the error because we are trying to access that part which not exist, like that index which not exist. Okay, non-square matrix. So matrix, yeah. Okay, because that column doesn't exist, right? Like that particular column doesn't exist. In this case, we can see when we are doing in place like that third column is not does not exist, right? So okay, square matrix. Yeah, There is a hidden problem when we are without swap. Okay, yeah, that's also the case. Like when we will override that value, then where that value will go, right? That's the case. I think then it will be empty. Like some of the values will be empty. I think half of the matrix will be empty. Um, is giving a dry run of our loop, like which we have wrote for. I is at 0, j is at 1 column, right? So 2 becomes 4. When I becomes 1, j becomes 0. Then, yeah, original 2 is lost. I think we will have to swap the values. How will we swap the values? What will be the logic? Um, when it will get converted into this. In that case, we have to set the values of, we will pick the column and row, right? I think that, I think we will have to set the values. Row, we will pick current row and current. But I think, will it, there's a hint here. Yeah, we only have to swap them only for one time. I think maybe this will, okay. Um, okay, so I think need to file. Hey man, are any of you guys are here? Need to file, are you here? I was just trying to understand this. mm, Like he's quizzing, this is quizzing me. This chatbot is quizzing me so that we get to the answer. He's trying to get the answer from me. Okay, we have to swap matrix 0 and 1 and 1 and 0. I'll just wait, there's some people messaging. I'm in live class, just waiting. But yeah, is the get the answer from me, like how we do the meetings room. Just in just string is at, and I am just trying to figure out a part of the problem, right? Okay, let's go. I think people are getting bored, right? Sometimes things like this happen. And if any one of you is, or like, if any of the new people are watching me for the first time, what they can do is they can join this Discord server. Okay, this is like a type of a community I am trying to create. Okay, and here you can share like what you are doing on a daily basis. Maybe you are working on a, like you can share what you are doing on a daily basis. What does that mean? Like if you are working on anything, you can share. If you are learning anything, you can share that. And if maybe you have completed a part of a project, you can share that. If maybe you have, okay, someone is in the Discord, maybe you have completed a project, then you can share that also. Hello, hello. Um, am I audible? Yeah, I was just like stuck at a part of a problem. I was just trying to like waiting for you guys, but nobody joined at that time. So at the right time, I'm using AI. Like it is quizzing me, and we are just near to get the solution. So man, I will join you after a little some time. Okay, I think around 10 p.m. Okay. Um, and I think you are busy, right? So I think yeah, we can do it after the stream. He's gone, and that's how we get like discuss about things. Just he was a little bit busy. He thought that yeah, we were in the discussion room. Okay, I forgot to share the link, right? Mm, yeah, we'll get the solution. We will not. Okay, so swapping is the only solution. So we try to write the swap function. Will it like work in that way? If that's the case, it should run for some inputs, right? Like some input metric that, okay, again, it's giving overflow. So I think we will have to write the whole condition without being override. Like here it will happen, zeroth column and first row will be started with first column. Okay, first row and zeroth column, right? I think this is not, it is not using indexing, it is just telling the value, like on which row we are. When I is equals to 1 and j is equals, then we don't have to swap it again. When I is equals to 1 and j is equals to 0. Mm, okay, in that case, right? If we write the loop as j is equals to I plus 1, j is less than columns j plus plus. And for I, we just not change the Okay, so we are changing for columns as J, right? Because in the transpose, every time, every time it will be, every time if the matrix will be odd, then we will like the number of columns will increase. That's why we have to start it with I plus 1. I think that's the case. Okay. Anyway, someone just, okay, someone just wait. I think someone just, okay. And if anyone is on the stream, if they want any discussion, they can just ping me, right? Because I can see some people are on the stream. Just I don't know why don't they just say something. Yeah. When we are transposing for in place for pairs I, J, and Ji, so we should swap them only for one time, right? And if we start J from 0, then we will touch the same pair again and again. I was having this question in my mind before when first I and J and after that J and I, and values will again become opposite. Like the values will go in opposite side. Means for every row, we are swapping the upper triangle elements. Lower triangle automatically handle, okay, because it does swaps from both sides. We are doing that. So we are at zero through column 1. Okay, because J is starting from the first column, right? Mm, Swap 2 and 4. Matrix 0 has become 4 and 2. Matrix 1 row has become, okay, matrix 0 row first second value has become 4, and matrix 1 second row zeroth value has become 2. Okay, because for 1 we don't have to check it for 1, right? 1 is already at its right place. Then I is at zeroth row and J is at second column. Yeah, J is at second column. That is this column, right? And okay, for this, so we pick 7 and okay, swap 3 and 7. We are picking 3 and 7 and then stopping it. So we pick the value of last index, or sorry, last row. But how it is on last row, man? Like it is saying that I is equals to 0, right? So it should be on the very first row. Mm, let's see, try to see here. Okay, 0th row second column, we pick the value. Okay, we will pick, we are taking this and matrix 2 and 0, right? Because we are changing. So row will become the last row, 0. Okay, okay, okay. And in the last, we are at the last, okay, we are at the first, that is, we are on this row and column number second. We pick the values 6 and 8, right? And in that case, we are just swapping them as this. And we can see some values are not changed. Like we can see 1 has not changed and 9 has not changed its place, right? So I think that change happens between and 4. Like it doesn't change the values in the first diagonal, right? 159. As we can see, 159 is 9 is still the same. So okay. And it is a easy level problem on based on matrix. But yeah, I did took it. Um, okay, so this is the case. So we have to start it from j is equals to I plus 1, right? Will it be in this loop? Yeah, it will be for loop, right? Because it did tell us for this loop, right? Mm, if j is equals to 10, we will pick wrong values to be swapped, as I can see. And that's why it was calling it as a triangle. As you can see, it is like becoming like a triangle, right? This is the upper triangle, this is the lower triangle, right? And this will be wrong values. As I can see, we have to leave the primary diagonal um, and wrapping values of upper triangle with lower triangle, right? Okay. Yeah, like primary diagonal elements swap with itself, right? Like if we are like suppose j is also on same index, I is also on same index, just it will swap with itself, right? Okay. Now this is will be the case for that part of it. Can you say no? Because when we transpose those, the dimensions will change. Like the number of columns, like every time I think the number of columns will increase, right? If the number of rows and columns are not equal. Mm, like if we see in this case, if even the row is there is only one row, when we will transpose it, like when we will flip change its dimension, there will be only one row and three columns, right? And in that case also, the number of columns are increasing, right? So eventually the number of columns will increase. So it is saying that we have to create another matrix because in the existing memory block, flipping the values or rows and columns are physically not possible. It is only feasible for square matrix, right? When the number of rows and columns will be equal, it will be like square matrix. Like you can take any size, 10 into 10, 12 into 12, or 4 into 4, right? You can try and create a matrix. You will see that will be like a square. And if it's that's not equal, it will be like a triangle or something. It can be a vertical triangle or a horizontal triangle, right? Um, so I think we are just near to check for what we can do in this, right? And we can join the Discord. We can have interactions there. Today, I'm just focusing on the problem, what that we are solving. Okay, so will we also check for that if number of rows and columns are same? Um, if not, that case we have to use the new matrix with different, okay, opposite dimensions, right? Opposite dimensions. And first if condition will be for this, right? And I think that will become the else case. Like the first case that we have checked for, this will become the else case. This will not be the if case. And I think if I write where, how we have to write, okay, we can check if rows is equals to columns, right? Just I'm checking these things so that we get to know about some points. Okay, what unincluded identifier J I. Okay, so what I can do, we will initialize I outside this. Okay, finally it is giving the wrong answer in both the cases. Yeah, okay, it's fine, but it's a little bit of working, right? So columns into rows. If rows into columns, then we will do in place swapping using J is equals to I plus 1 loop. Else we create another matrix, columns into rows. We fill that with this, right? Like the current row and column. There's a question if we have to transpose 1 into n matrix for only one row. the number of, but wait, if it is only a single row, in that case, note the number of columns will increase. But we don't know, like if inside that there is only one value or more than one value, right? Maybe it can be two values present in that. No, the columns will increase. So they will have to use another matrix. But if it contains only one value, then they will just return it, right? Without making any changes. Okay, yeah. So we can check if, I think before this loops, we can check if rows dot, okay, not rows. If matrix dot size is equals to 1, in that case, we will just return it, right? Return matrix. Will it work? Like if, okay, we have to check for the columns, right? If matrix column 0 dot size, so matrix, okay, if matrix row number of values are only one, right? So we will take another case. But will it even be accepted? Like it's not given here, but I think one is not a valid value of type int. How many? Matrix. Okay, for matrix it will need, now it became a row, right? One is an integer, right? How it can give the wrong answer? It should not give that. Hmm, okay, we will see that. If n is equals to 1, if rows is not equals to column, then we create another matrix and okay. And what we do is, mm, yeah, if there is only one value in the matrix, we are just returning it. Oh, hello man, welcome to the stream. Hello, solo leveling. Welcome to the stream, man. Okay, so we have got three conditions, right? After it have quizzed me, we have come to this point. Like the first logic was right, just we started it with I plus 1, right? Because we got to know the diagonals values will not be swapped, right? It will not be changed in this case. Just the upper triangle and lower triangle values will be changed. Hey man, you wanna say something or like I do also interact with people. I think you have came for the first time, right? 4 columns and 1 row. Okay. So that transpose shape will become, what will it become? I think it will become, okay, there are 4 columns, right? 4 columns and 1 row. So when we transpose it, oh wait man, these topics are important to start DSA in Java program. Okay, start DSA. Okay, what I follow a list, like I follow a playlist, a course. Okay, for that, like it's almost like it's similar to in all the languages. Okay, like first we will start with, if you don't even know about the fundamentals, before doing like starting the DSA, right? Like because it is named as DSA, right? Like DSA is what? DSA is data structures and algorithms, right? But before starting that, there are some prerequisites that we have to do. Like first we cover some basic topics on programming, some general topics, right? After that, the actual DSA starts from this point. First we cover this data structure named as arrays. Like first the very first data structure you will understand about is arrays. Then you will jump onto vectors, and the thing is like in this way. And algorithms are different from that. Algorithms are operations we perform on data structures by using those data structures. And data structure is a way of keeping the data into a format. Like if we talk about stack data structure, okay, stack, then like functions, stack, okay. So stack data, like how we place plates. Like if we take example of plates, we place one plate on another, right? Like one upon another. So we place it in a stack manner, and if we want to pick any plate first, like we will pick from the very top plate, right? Like we will pick the top plate, then the other plates, right? And how we can arrange the order of, like suppose we are looking at a shelf, there are books in there, right? Like there are books being set in there in this sequence. uh, okay, and that is called the linear way or the linear structure in which the books are arranged. So if we want to pick any book, we can just check for what book is that, and just we can pick it from in between, right? But if if we just put the books like in a stack manner, then if we try to pick any book from between, it can just uh, the things can disturb, right? Okay, thanks for considering my question. Oh, you don't need to say that, man. Hey brother, are you in college? I think you are a beginner, right? In DSA, like I'm also a beginner. I'm not that much type of expert, but I think I can give a general advice a little bit. So you know what you can do is, we have a Discord community where you can join there, and you can share. Okay, you can share what you are doing on a daily basis. Okay, maybe you are working on a project. You can share that. Maybe you are, like if even a part of it is completed, you can share that, we can review it. And like there are also other members like you said you are in BTech, right? So there are other people like you who are in BTech, who are in third year, fourth year, or many of the people have just started doing their BTech journey. Like this guy has just his college started, and he's in the first year, and you can join it, and you can like interact with other people and also me. And we do also have these collaborative study rooms. Like I've started this concept, working on these systems. Just it is an experimental phase. This is not the whole implementation. You can join any room and just we can have discussions about any topic. Like it it can range from basic DSA to like advanced DSA, just when the number of members will increase, there will be other rooms and there will be other systems for that. Okay. Ye- okay, you can see the link. You can see the link like I've shared in the chats. You can just click on it and just join the Discord, right? Like the community is not that big right now, but yeah, I think with time the number of members will increase. And man, can you take a guess? Like I asked this question from the every new viewer who come on the stream for the first time. Like you have to take a guess in which year of college I am. You have to guess. Am I in like third year or am I in second year of college or like maybe I'm just passed out. So you have to take a guess of that. And I do also learn web development side by side. At the started learning JavaScript, and yeah, also working on the on a project like this. Like this is not just a basic layout. Mm, if you are here, you can just take a guess. Okay. Uh, so my college is going to start this week. It's going to this week. Sorry, next week. Right? Today's Sunday. Like I will be called as a fresher. Mm, and yeah, right now I was solving this problem. Just there was no one in the Discord like with which on which degree, and it's but it's popular by another name, right? People call it a degree of okay. But I think nowadays degrees don't matter if you have good skills. Just it is for uh, filtering, right? Four columns and one leaf. Nice. And are you have you are you able to access the Discord link? Okay, let me just paste it again. I think it just got okay. The link working or I think okay, the link is working. So let's first try to end this problem in a good way, right? So if there are four columns and one row, like there's one row and four columns, what will happen? I think it will be become one column and four rows. Okay. So there is also this type of SKs, and this is a easy learn problem, right? It shouldn't be like this, but now we have started it, so we will. Okay. The number of rows and columns just gets flipped. Their metrics in place, transpose possible with strap logic. And I think we don't have even need to check for the number of rows and like this part if it's equals to zero, right? Same element transpose. empty. Empty rows. Um, I think it will become empty column, right? Okay. Because there is no element present in every row and means effectively matrix column size is 0. Yeah. But there are also not columns. That's why output becomes an empty column set. That is practically empty matrix. Recap. Okay, transpose is also empty. Matrix with empty rows, transpose empty because single element transpose we will transpose the same element, right? And if this is the case, that will this wrong. Maybe it will be okay, yeah, because in jagged matrix every row length is different. Why it's been buffering, man? In my mobile phone, just the stream is buffering. If it is a rectangular matrix, then creating a new matrix is mandatory. If it is empty, then transpose will also be empty. If row, okay, if it's row vector, we convert it into column vector. If it's column jag matrix, transpose not very defined. For every row, we check individually for yeah. First, we will subtract them, and I think we will pick those values where diagonal uh, divides the matrix into two parts. How we are getting the right thought? Out, okay, outer loop will run for rows, inner loop will run check for the actual size of row. Then fill when j exists, right? If then, but in this problem, we don't have to check for it, right? I think how we will create that new matrix, I think we will create it after this so that we can use these variables as it will be row will become column and column will become row. So we can pass those values as, yeah, input it will always be a proper rectangular matrix. Oh, that means every row's length will be same. Yeah. If it is non-matrix, non-square matrix, we just have to do this. So we also get to know about, we did a little bit of discussion and came to this point that mm, these can also be a type of problem. I'm do joined as Abhishek Tiwari on Discord. Okay, man. Oh, fine. And yeah, you don't have to subscribe right now. Okay, you can subscribe anytime. Mm, You can consider to subscribe when you feel that okay, this guy is learning something, or maybe we are getting some value, or we are learning something from it. And I also don't want to just learn alone. Like just my learning is becoming better about things, but I also want to learn with you guys. That's why I will try to implement good systems in the Discord, and I will use other platforms and integrate that. Then I think we will have interactive study together. Just like I just did this for an experiment, like on an experimental level. From the like there have been meetings. We have joined 2 or 3 meetings. There came 4 or 5 members from the server. We did had discussion about. We started it with arrays, like what are arrays, and on a day we were solving problem together. Like what everybody will do, everybody will just open his her laptop and we just have discussion about what can be the approach of a problem. Like it will range from like from where an algorithm came, who gave that algorithm, to solving a problem using that. And topics will be ranging from as minor as 2 pointers, ranging to dynamic programming, right? Like it can be any topic, and it's just not limited to DSA. It can be questions can be on HTML, like what is div tag, what it is used for, and ranging to how to create a database, right? Mm, How to do the make create a system for authentication of a user who comes on this website. How to verify that user. Mm, yes, it is a safe part. Okay, we can check for this case also. It will be a base case. If test case, this are the values given, what will be the output? So there are 2 rows and 3 columns. So 2 columns and 3 rows. Yeah, because we just flip the order of that, right? And that was a wrong case. The number of rows also does get increased. Mm, 3 rows and 1 column. Okay. Oh man, how many times it will just ask the answer? 1 column and 4 rows. Mm, Nothing in between. It will just change the 2 rows and 2 columns. When we flip that, it will be in place, right? We don't have to create another because it's like a square. Okay. How many steps will be done? Okay. Um. 3 into 3, right? So there will be 6, 9 elements, and 1, 2, 3, 6, 3. Okay, we are right. Mm. And you know why I am doing this as in this long way? Because I have got to know some of the things will be like how we try to access a column or index. These logics will be used in some upcoming like big topics like DP, and I think it will be using graphs and yeah, some other topics. That's why we are doing this in a good way. But yeah, we should not give that much time. But today I'm just trying to do it is in this way for yeah. If it's a 5 into 5 matrix, that will be 5 rows and 5 columns. So okay, 25 values and 5. Oh, sorry. Mm, So if we see now, let's try to write the. It's just checking my confidence. Like am I confident in what I said, right? But now let's try to write the code. Okay, it just gave me the code, man. But I will not try to see the code. Okay. Okay, before it, we have to check for that. If that's the case, we are running for loop list. Okay, don't give me the code, but we will have to see how we initialize it, right? So for initializing it, we do initialize it with this list. Okay, it will become a matrix, and column will be that, and rows. Hmm, okay, just tell me what's happening here, like how we are creating another matrix with flipped dimension, right? Because the dimensions are being flipped, and this will be the else case that we are seeing for. Like this is the if case, this will become the else case, right? Just it's not written. Um, and I think we have got that much of understanding that we can write it by self, right? Okay. We are creating a new vector where dimensions are flipped, right? First argument is columns, mean how many rows it wants, and for every row we create inner vector which size is equals to rows. That means the number of columns. If original matrix is row into columns, like the size is like this, then the new matrix becomes like columns into rows, right? Like if it was 2 columns and 3 rows, it becomes columns and 2 rows. Then we in the loop do this. This transpose every element to its position, which is required by the problem, right? Okay. So we don't have to check it here, right? Okay. Not I. If rows equals to columns, I think we need the I, right? But I think I will not be placed at this point. If this is the case, else we will check for another case, right? In that case, this will be the, but what happened in the original vector? Okay. And here we have the values as rows and columns, so we can change it, the order. So we will create a vector matrix int and name it as it will, there will be a name, right? Okay, answer. First we pass columns, then we create another vector and named as rows, right? Because this is a vector, this is a, these are other vectors in that vector, right? Like this is a vector of vectors, list of vectors. I think here we just pass the matrix, right? Here we just pass that vector list as this, and it's just it is already being created in the function. Um, as you can see in the function, okay, if it's not a launch, like if the number of rows and columns will not be the same, we are doing that. Uh, we are running it for the else case, right? And in this case, if this is true, we are returning matrix. And in this case, we are returning answer matrix, right? Okay, that's also the case. Yeah, that will be the case because this is for the original matrix. So we'll return it after this for loop, right? Yeah, after the outer for loop. That's how we get to the end of the loops. In this case, we will return matrix. We have created this in the else case, and now we will run a for loop. And rows, straight columns, I plus plus. But will it be the case? Okay, now the columns and rows have changed, right? So we don't have to worry about that. Okay, but in this case, j is starting from zero. Why? Because in this case, when it was the number of columns and rows were equal, okay. But in this case, it is not a non-square matrix, right? Maybe the number of columns is more, or maybe the number of rows is more, right? And here we are just doing in place swapping. Sorry, we have to understand it a little bit. Like we have got the logic, but just how the code is implemented, how this is um, happening here. Like we aren't swapping values. I think because we have a new matrix, right? We have a new matrix of new size, so we don't have to swap the values. I think because in this case we also will not go out of bounds, so that's why they starting from zero, right? Because we have the new matrix with new size, and also j is equals j is starting from zero. Mm, j is starting from zero, as we will not prime. We are not trying to access wrong value. We can name it as this. Just it will understand. Yeah, its dimensions are flipped. In which columns is rows and rows is columns, right? And we copy elements, right, from the previous. Like here we flip row and column. Okay, here like if we are at row 0 and column 1, then we flip it to row 1 and column 0. Okay, no swapping because we are creating a new matrix. Like in that case, when it was a square matrix, in that case we were not creating a new matrix. That's why we were doing swapping. We used this swapping. Just let me check it if it's this the right thing. Okay, it's just wait. Have we wrote something wrong? Okay, I think that's it isn't inside these brackets because of like we did separated it, but it will be like this because we are using this creating this vector, right? Because we have the new matrix. Because we have created a new matrix and it's safe to directly copy the elements from the previous from the old matrix, right? J starts from 0 and goes till column, and we are not trying to access any value, any index which is not defined, right? Or which not exist. So we will be in safe manner. So, but here it will be rows, right? Columns, rows. Oh, this just rows, columns, rows. And why we are running the first loop for rows and the second for column. This is running for every loop. Okay, yeah, because you're filling using original matrix row wise. Okay, we are picking those rows and filling that into the columns. The columns, that's why first we are running. Okay, we are going on every row. Yeah, it will be right. And I j plus plus. but here J was for columns, right? Okay, just here it's also the same case. Hmm, where it will be means inside that row all the elements will get covered, right? And copy with flipped indices. Like if in the original matrix, in this flip it will be matrix J column I index, like ith row. Like we are picking the current column and current row, and its value will be equals to, okay, not matrix, right? It will be answer. Yeah, answer. That was right. Like we are filling answer matrix jth column ith row with matrix ith row and jth column, right? From the original, like we are picking this value. Okay, this is not the case for this, but we suppose we are picking this value. Okay, this is not a square matrix where number of rows and columns are not equal, right? We pick this from the original and put it at this column and this index, like jth column and ith index, right? And in the end, we are returning. After this for loop, now we can return answer. So will it work or not? So there is some mistake. Use of class template vector. Okay, wait. I think I'm using the wrong syntax just for this part. It's the syntax wrong. But yeah, we do have got the right logic for how it will be solved. So there is no need to worry. Oh, syntax is right. What it said. If we write 5 4, how are you doing, my friend? Hello, man. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I was just waiting for you. Like I was trying to join the meeting at that time because I was stuck at this problem. But today I used the AI in another way. Like I did try ask it to quiz me. Okay, instead of giving me answer or just we get to the answer or write the code. Today I just used it for getting the, like he it will quiz me and it will try to get the answer from me. We discussed about like S cases. I thought about that. It gave me questions. Then we came on to a point, and now we are just at the end of finishing this problem. If you will, rewind the stream and try to see when I started solving this, mm, then like how I did came to this point, and it is a easy learn problem. And even after that, I did give a good amount of time. That's like how we do practice it in the meeting rooms. Yeah, and it's also, I think, a little bit more like it, the level of it was a little bit harder. Like what it did, it also just give me those edge cases which doesn't exist in the problem. We have discussion about those edge cases, and I also got to know that there can be some other type of metrics which is not asked in this problem, but yeah, it will help us in the future where the problems will be a little bit different based on metrics. And if you want, you can try this. Its name is Transpose Matrix. Okay. So I was trying to figure out why it's okay, but it didn't told that we need the semicolon, man. AI is wrong. AI got wrong at this point. Undeclared identified J. Okay. White's okay. Undeclared identifier J. I think we will have to just wait. Hmm, something happened, right? Undeclared identifier I. I think this will be out of this if condition. Then maybe it will work. And I think we don't even need this. If we will need that, we will put, but I think that it's not needed. But again, it's saying undeclared identifier J. So J will be 0. It's same, man. This okay, wait. Yeah, I will be for rows, right? We but will it give the same error again? I did try to fix it even after that. It is saying that J is undefined. But then why it is not saying that I is undefined, right? Oh, okay. Mm. This type of integer, right? I think in this case, has already been declared. That's why it was what? Case 3. Okay. This is for empty case. I haven't seen this type of input before from here. Case 1, it is failing for test case 1, right? We were using this. So if I will put it inside this condition, it should run. Okay. What about now? Now it's getting failed. Okay, what we will do, we reinitialize it here. Okay, it isn't changing, right? And if it was the case, then it would have given the error, right? What about now? It's getting failed. Like the case 1 where rows and columns are saved. Just give me hints. Don't give me code. Nothing, we are just near to end the problem, right? Solve the problem. Loop structure. Okay. Okay. That's why, like I thought, why it would be needed, right? So our logic was wrong, just we did use these at wrong places. Integer j is less than I, right? More than I means it will be I plus 1. Oh, wait. There are just some silly mistakes. Hello, ma'am. Welcome to the stream. Oh, you came here. Or statement specifier. Okay, what we will do, j is equals to I plus 1, right? Just wait to be the case. Oh, we did give a good amount of time. Man, I was just solving this problem and it's giving wrong answer. Okay, just we like I was at the end of solving this. It's was failing some test cases. I think we forget to check for a base case where we are doing that. Okay, where if we remove this, um, okay, it will again give the error. I think it will again give the. Oh, it's got accepted. Like there were two things running in my mind at that time. Like I thought it was saying that it is in wrong run, so maybe we have to put it in this if condition, but that's not the case. That's why I was staying a little bit silent. But yeah, it got accepted, and its time complexity will be big of n cube, right? Hmm, let's see. Okay, big of m into n. Okay, so we solve this. So it's time complexity. Now we have solved this. Okay, fine. Oh, and today we didn't even have the lunch. I think because of new problem. This was a problem, man. That like I loved solving this in this way. Secondary problem solved. Transpose matrix. Okay, we have done this. Solve this problem. Now, what we will do is we will summarize the stream and just end it. Right. So what we did in today's stream. First, I solved a new problem on LeetCode. Its name was matrix diagonal sum. Okay, we did it. Its time complexity was big of n. Sorry, n cube. And after that, we revisited two problems. Okay, like before the revisits, I was stuck into this transpose matrix problem, but I was waiting for some people and just they were busy. So we did paused it for a time, like the code was half written, like the code was half cooked. Okay, we can say the code was half cooked. Then after that, I thought in between when the people will come, till the people come, we did revisited two problems. So the first revisit was of this problem named as row sum in a matrix. Okay, we did that. After that, we did the second revisit of this problem named as column sum in a matrix. And the time complexity of both the problems were equals to big of n cube because we did use nested for loops and yeah, we're trying to use access different rows and columns, right, at the same time. Because of that, the time complexity gets increased to big of n cube. And after that, like the people were busy, so we just jump onto that problem again. That was where it's gone, man. Okay, that was transpose matrix. Okay, we did that. We did take the help of AI. We don't ask the code from it. Okay, today I tried another approach. I gave AI the task to quiz me and tried to get the answer from me instead of just it gives answer to me, right? So we did discussed about some extra cases which were not being asked in this question. Okay, we did also got to know about that. What can be those cases? In the end, we just solve it in a good way. But yeah, took a good amount of time to solve this problem, and this was an easy level problem. Okay, and its time complexity was big of n cube. So again, if I summarize it, we did solve two new problems today, and revisited two problems. And according to the roadmap, we were supposed to solve two problems. So we were in the so the objective of today is completed, right? And now and today we used AI in a very different manner. I haven't used it as this way in this way before. Yeah, I used it in offline, but not in the live streams, right? So for now, what you all can do is you can just like the stream for now. Okay. You don't have to subscribe right now. When you feel that this guy is learning something good, or we are learning something from him, or maybe we are getting some value, then you can consider to subscribe. Okay. You can consider to subscribe. Subscribing is a secondary thing. You just don't subscribe only after I say, okay, go man, just go and subscribe to the channel. That is not a right thing, right? For now, what you all can do is you all can just join the Discord server. Okay. There you can share what you are doing on a daily basis. Maybe you are working on a project. Like you can share there what you are doing on a daily basis. Okay, you can share updates. Maybe you are working on a part of your project. You can share that. Maybe you have a complete project. You can share that also, and we can have interactions. We can review those projects. And yeah, I've also started this systems as like collaborative study where we can join in and have interactive study with together. Like suppose we want to discuss on topic like arrays, so we can just jump into the rooms and just have discussion about topics like arrays. Okay, like you can use any medium as text message, as audio, video, or maybe screen sharing, any method. And yeah, that was for it. So it is highly recommended for all of you to join the Discord. Okay. And subscribing is a secondary thing. It can be done anytime. It just shows the it is just a number, right? Like subscribers are only just numbers. It doesn't tell the guy is good or what, right? So it is a secondary thing, but joining Discord is highly recommended for people because I don't want to learn alone. I want to learn with all of you, right? So that at the right time, just I don't learn, you also try and learn new things with me and all the other members who are in Discord. Like I think today, like there are not so many people in the Discord right now. It is around 42 members. But yeah, with time it will increase. Just we have started. I think the next 6 months, the number of members in Discord will be more. And so we today did two new problems and revisited two problems. And the two new problems that we did was easy level based on metrics, right? And today these people came on the stream. Okay. So in the end, okay, we have to also end the poll, right? Where that poll is comment. How will end the poll? It's just not visible, man. But yeah, I can see what is inside the poll. Why the poll is not closing? It just remove that option to close it. I think there have came a glitch, but I can see there are 17 votes at the right time, and 88% of the people are saying that we should. Okay, like is done, right? And yeah, it is showing that we have 11 likes. As you can see, if I show, try to show it is okay. Now from here I can end the poll. Yeah, total 17 votes have been came today. That's good. I think the number of votes are increasing and also the likes because of the polls. It tells people to do that. Okay. So in the end, I will say this: you need to just keep learning and keep exploring new things and just start taking actions and just start the grind and start taking actions, right? And stay hard. Just stay hard.